Hello and welcome to ZEE Companion Insight with me, Chetan Pathak, on this Monday night. Our debate program that starts the week where we talk about some of the big issues affecting people from our communities. And tonight that trend continues. We're talking about Indian politics, Narendra Modi's prime ministership. And the question we're asking you is if you think Indian politics is heading in the right direction. It's the largest democracy and one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Its Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been embraced by leaders around the world and himself receives a rock star welcome when he visits Britain. But India's economic growth has been slowing. A decision to ban certain high rupee notes has been called a disaster. And although the rich get richer, India is currently one of the worst places in the world for child malnutrition. Reports of violent attacks on Muslims, Dalits and other minorities are on the rise, with cow vigilante groups targeting those who eat beef. Modi and his ministers have been accused of stoking up the beef issue and allowing the radical Hindu right free rein. Shah Rukh Khan and others have spoken out against perceived intolerance and censorship in the media, with several high-profile journalists being killed. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi says India is more divided than ever. But is his party even capable of being a strong opponent, let alone winning power back, when its own past failings haven't been forgotten? India is currently more open for business than ever, and Modi's economic policy got a boost at the weekend when the International Monetary Fund said despite a short-term dip, it sees a very solid track ahead for the Indian economy and praised the government's decision-making. No Indian politician in recent memory has captured the imagination of the masses as much as this man, and promises of bullet trains, electricity for all, digital literacy and tackling poverty continue to inspire millions. But is Indian politics really heading in the right direction? And that is the question that we're asking you on ZEE Companion Insight this Monday night. We need you to get involved with the program. You've got many ways to do that. The numbers will be running on the bottom of your screen, whether you're calling us from the UK or from Europe this evening. You can get in touch with us via Facebook and Twitter too, and email address as well. All those details will be running on the bottom of your screen. We need to hear your thoughts. This is very much your program and so much to be covered this evening. I am very lucky to be joined by my panel. To my left is Mother Kumar, Turumella, an entrepreneur and a supporter of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who I'm sure tonight will be telling us exactly why India is heading in the right direction. And to my right is Venu Gopal, Gampa, an executive member of the Indian National Overseas Congress in the UK, closely works with Rahul Gandhi's team, in fact just recently returned from a trip to India. Tonight we'll be talking about the Indian economy, about the actions of the Hindu right. We'll be talking about inequality and poverty, but also about growth and whether India should be spending billions on bullet trains from Ahmedabad to Mumbai or on feeding people. We'll also talk about the state of the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi, and whether he could realistically be Prime Minister. Give us a call with your thoughts. Lots to cover, guys. Madhava, I'll come to you first. Why do you think Indian politics is heading in the right direction?
Chetan, thanks for having me. Indian politics was never in the correct direction ever till now. And only 3 years back, fortunately, Indian electorate have woken up and they decided enough is enough, let's change the country. And that change has actually brought in a great many things into the economy, or you name it, everything is changing. I would call it as a takeoff economy. At the moment, it's a takeoff economy. It's like all the time, it was like an aeroplane, Indian economy, always on the runway for the last 70 years. And then slowly, now it's actually a little bit slowing down to take off.
Venugopal, it's all good, isn't it?
Yeah. First of all, thanks to ZEE TV, such a burning topic. In this question is everyone's mind in Modi came to power. No, is it not? Because as India is unity and diversity. India is ethnic identity. India is the different languages and different culture and different food habits. Now the Modi government does not understand India, and India is a fabric of India. The Modi government destroying fabric of India.
You think it's dividing India?
Yeah.
Do you? Because I'll quote Rahul Gandhi, who I know you work closely with the Rahul Gandhi team. A recent interview with the Huffington Post, he said, hatred, he was speaking about Modi, the BJP and the RSS. Hatred is their main weapon. They're creating massive fault lines by isolating millions of our people. Tribals, Dalits, Muslims are simply being told by the ruling party they cannot be part of India's vision. Journalists are being shot dead. Is that fair, Mark?
It's totally unfair, because hate politics is not something which BJP would follow, and neither any right would follow, because if you see for the last 70 years the kind of politics that's been followed within the Indian system, because the system itself is when you talk about politics, it's basically, it is within the framework of the Indian Constitution. You can play it, right? And it is a socialist constitution, and you know who has actually changed the name of the constitution. And then,
but that's all the principles, though, isn't it? But
actually,
we have seen increasing number of attacks on Muslims eating beef by cow.
No.
Why not?
No, I tell you, this is a narrative which has been put in place by the by whoever wanted to actually put some kind of blame and actually stir up the politic. Basically, if you see, India is the largest, the landmass which is hosting the largest amount of population. When you look at statistically, when you look at it, India is the safest country for any caste, any religion, anyone to actually live in. It's basically the way that the narrative is stirred up. Out of 1,300 million, 1.3 billion people, if one or two incidents take place, if something happens in UK, out of 60 million people, if one or two, that's statistically, put it actually 1,300 million versus one or two. So you always actually, the narrative today is nothing but statistically a wrong narrative for me.
Whether it's your mother or father, one incident is one incident too many. There have been many incidents on Facebook, on Twitter that have been reported in the news, these cow vigilante groups that have been doing this. Now, Narendra Modi has criticised these groups.
Indeed.
The criticism is, though, I don't know if you agree with Gopal, has it been strong enough? Has it been sustained enough?
I disagree, because the suppressing freedom of expression, Modi government failure in all sector, and cover the all failures. They're bringing cows in front of cows, and bringing Hindutva. And in the recently, who one raised the question government failures, they are tagging, branding as a anti-nationalist. It's a Gauri Lankesh and Shantan and Kolburi and many journalists and killed Hindu fascism.
There is no evidence. There is no evidence there. There is no evidence there.
It's already
this is all false tagging.
I'll mention one piece of evidence. You mentioned Gauri Lankesh, the journalist who was killed. There have been people on Twitter. I'd mentioned Twitter because Narendra Modi uses that as a machine. He's very proactive on Twitter. Millions of followers. Maybe you can answer this. Why is he following the Prime Minister of India accounts on Twitter that support the murders of people like Gauri Lankesh? Because there are people on Twitter that have celebrated her attack, and Narendra Modi's official Twitter account follows those accounts. Why?
I would totally disagree the kind of narrative that is being getting stirred up. Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India, and if he's following, maybe he's following the people who have, who have been, good at politics. And I don't think that Gauri Lankesh's murder, anyone is condoning it. None, including Modi ji. I have seen it. It's basically the kind of narrative on the Twitter. There are a lot of fake accounts. Seriously, a lot of fake accounts, and a lot of fake news that spreads across Twitter. And as a platform, social media, even Facebook agreed that 80% of their data is the people that what they write is fake.
If Modi doesn't like fake news, much like Donald Trump, who's talked against fake news, why doesn't he do more press conferences? Why doesn't he speak to journalists more? Why doesn't he offer more press freedoms? Is that a fact?
There is no press freedom also. They're controlling the Modi government using all government sectors like ED and CBI and income tax, and controlling media and social media. they specially designed social media team in BJP. It's ideology from RSS and Nagpur batch, and they forcibly, they all are forcibly attacking who are supporting secularism and who were opposing government failures. They're literally killing. It's not only Gauri Lankesh, in many cases in Uttar Pradesh, and many cases in Kalburi from Karnataka, and in even Orissa, and many people.
It is hearsay and is an accusation, unbiased, and there is no reason or rhyme to even say such a thing. It's an accusation, and it is only who could actually, we can't actually, within the media, we can't go and decide. We can't be the judge, jury, and executioners. So especially the Congress for the last 70 years, and exclusively the left parties are so capable of actually stirring up the narrative. Whenever there is an election, something they pick up and then they actually mudslinging and everything. This is happening, and you have no iota of evidence about this. Do you mean to say, Venu?
You can check.
Do you mean to say? Answer me this, Venu.
You can check background of Gauri Lankesh.
Venu.
He's working for
just hold on one
Answer
second.
me this. Only 1 second. One question.
Quickly.
Do you mean to say Congress party does not use social media?
No, the Congress party using social media, not like Modi's fascism.
That you don't know.
No.
Let's just pause, because Venu, you're talking about. You can talk about the atmosphere that's being created by the government, but to make direct accusations, I don't want to get specifically into Gauri Lankesh or one specific murder, because we don't have the facts. You may talk about the atmosphere that's stoked up, but Narendra Modi, none of the ministers are accused of anything directly themselves. Let's bring a caller in if we can. Satish is on the line. Good evening, Satish. You're through to ZEE Companion Insight. What would you like to say?
Oh, hi, good evening to you, all of you. I just wanted to add on a couple of comments on the topic, whether Indian politics is going in the right direction.
Sure.
I believe the politics actually gone downhill. There hasn't been any real taking place. The Modi returned India by essential nation where Modi does not see any media meeting. There were a polarization being taken 6 minutes, taking India away within. I hear today, and he's saying that the Ram Mandir will be next Diwali.
Do you think he's bringing religion too much into politics?
Well, yeah, the whole idea of BJP existence and staying in power is position, making sure that 80% will always work for them. Their 20% minorities will never ever be able to do anything. They won't win any election.
Apologies for the sound, Satish. We're going to leave it there. I can't hear you that clearly. Apologies, people at home as well, if you struggle to hear Satish. We'll leave it there. Madhava, I'll come to you. We run it in the video at the start, the beef ban, which has been called for. The BJP, since the Modi campaign began, brought beef back into the mainstay of politics as an issue. Has that stoked up more division? Was it necessary to do that? We've had ministers who've been mixing religion with politics at times. They've spoken about the Ramayana in speeches, about there was a speech that Narendra Modi once gave to scientists talking about Lord Ganesh possibly having cosmetic surgery. I mean, we get that they are the Hindus, but should religion be kept aside? Has it been brought too much in, as I think Satish was saying there too?
Actually, Satish also mentioned another point at which you also, Chetan, you said that actually Modi avoiding media. It's a false accusation. Basically, the media today has completely undergone a sea change. Today, media means Facebook. Today, media means Twitter. Today, media means Man Ki Baat. So today, media means actually it is a completely new, different media where traditional media is undergoing change, and Modi ji is more than ever any Indian politician. He and his government is in the media. So you don't need really a press reporter to report about some fake news.
There are lots of journalists that would like
directly addressing.
There are lots of journalists that like to interview with him. But can you just answer that question? Has religion come too much?
No, it hasn't. No. Religion is also India has always been practicing Hindu nation. There are lots of practicing Hindus, but Hinduism basically has got an underlying secular structure always. I mean, Venu is a Hindu. Venu says that he is a Hindu.
As
Rahul
for
Gandhi says
your
he is a Hindu.
earlier question, I give an example. In 2016, in Doordarshan, it's a RSS formation day. The Doordarshan telecasted Vishnu Bhavati's speech, not Tripura elected chief minister's speech. Then it is the best example how government controlling the media.
Let's bring in Shin. Shin's on the line. Madhav, Venu, Gopal, let's bring Shin in. Good evening. Thanks for calling us ZEE Companion Insight. What would you like to say?
Good evening. So here are my thoughts. So the question is, the question is Indian politics and its position. Let's consider, this is my view, let's consider India as the largest democracy, and this is the key word, democracy in the world. We've got a leader in Narendra Modi now that is working to an agenda that the rest of the world gets. India's economic argument cannot be ignored, and the West and other countries such as China, such as Australia, are not ignoring that economic argument, and there's a reason for it. It's because of the leadership. It's because of the Prime Minister that he's put this very country on its map, overturning nearly 65 years of the rule of one family, a dynasty, is a difficult challenge.
So you're impressed with what Modi's done in terms of the economy. You think he's done all the right things in terms of putting the country in the right direction?
Indeed. He's absolutely putting it in the right direction, and this isn't going to change overnight. Look at the World Ratings Agency that are taking India up the hierarchical base. Look at investors, inbound investment. Look at BSP. The economics of India is changing, and that is changing as a result of firm decisions being led by individuals that is working relentlessly, serving the country. So irrelevant of any debate around secular democracy, RSS versus the old VHP, the point is India is a country that the rest of the world are not ignoring, chose to ignore, potentially because of its leadership of the past.
And Shin, are you all right with sort of overlooking, like many people did, and of course Narendra Modi was elected with a huge mandate in 2014, are you happy to sort of overlook these other concerns, even around intolerance, race divisions, if India is going forward economically?
It's interesting what's being talked about, intolerance. There's nothing to overlook. That we talk about, this is what's happening. Take India as a country for what she is. Don't look at the flaws of the country. I think the argument is the intolerance debate needs to be put aside. It is just inflated by egotistical media platforms and equally egotistical political parties they're debating for debating's sake. You've got Rahul Gandhi debating on points that aren't just worth debating. He's losing face. And it's time he steps aside.
Who steps aside?
Rahul Gandhi and his mother.
Okay. Shin, thanks for that, because we will be talking, of course, with Venu Gopal here, who works with the Congress party. We will be talking about Rahul Gandhi and Congress and what the future is for them, because it's all very well having issues with Narendra Modi, but what is the viable opposition? I want to just stick on this point. We will be talking about the economy, and I'm sure you'll be thrilled with what you've just heard from Shin, Madhav, and that is what I want to be doing after the break. I know Shin's sort of happy there to overlook it and doesn't feel there's an intolerance issue. I'm sure there are plenty of Dalits and Muslims that do feel they're very strong issues, and there are many people, many journalists. Shah Rukh Khan was one person who's spoken quite outspokenly about perceived intolerance. People have been giving their awards back. I know that it's a matter that really concerns a lot of people, but we've got a lot to cover in this hour, and as Shin was talking about there, the economy, that is our next subject. Join us after the break. We'll be talking specifically about what Narendra Modi is doing to take India's economy forward.